everyone, and welcome to today's TV segment where we'll be discussing how to change your life in 90 days with fitness and nutrition. I'm Anissa Bekteshi with the SIEDC, and today's guest is Master Coach Phil Pennacchia. He owns a fitness club in the New York Lane District. He's an expert in fitness and nutrition, and he is also a former Mr. Staten Island bodybuilding champion, and as well as a holistic healer. So Phil, tell us a little bit about your background in fitness and nutrition.
Okay, I started at the age of 11. I was a little skinny kid from a tough area in Brooklyn, sure. And I saw a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I just fell in love with the idea that that could possibly be me one day. And I ordered these 2 light dumbbells to my house, even though my father said, I don't want you using weights at a young age. And the minute I grabbed those dumbbells, it was like magic. Mm-hmm. I can't explain it. It was like the first time you fell in love with somebody. And I grabbed those dumbbells, and it was this energy. And the minute I did a curl, I felt this electricity. Mm-hmm. And I knew that was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life at age 11. Wow.
And since you're an owner of a gym, how does it feel to you to be able to train people and help them improve their lives? How does it feel to be so passionate about something, and where do you get that passion from to do what you do?
Well, it's actually the passion I developed to help people was by accident. So I always say that, we plan our lives and God laughs. Mm-hmm. So at the age of 11, my goal was not to really help people. Mm-hmm. It was to be the best bodybuilder in the world. Mm-hmm. And I won Mr. Staten Island, I won these Mr. New York City, and I won several bodybuilding shows, and by the age of 25, I suffered a severe rip to my pec. It ripped the muscle off the bone, and that ended my career. Oh, wow. And I was reduced to tears. Mm-hmm. It was my whole dream. And at that point, I decided to try to open up a gym. Mm-hmm. I opened up my gym by the age of 31. And I thought that I was going to have a lot of athletes and bodybuilders. Sure. And by accident, I started to get average people to work in my gym. People mm-hmm. that were overweight, people that had low self-esteem, mm-hmm. and they were being made fun of, or they were suicidal, or they had diseases. Sure. It wasn't the bodybuilder. And I took them under my wing, and I would make a workout for them, and then I made the meal plan. And I started to realize the power mm-hmm. of that it did for their self-esteem mm-hmm. by them just having a program, having some level of control over their life. Mm-hmm. And after 3 months, seeing them smile, realizing that I had been a significant part of changing their life. Mm-hmm. And that's what developed my love for it.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about how we can change our lives in 90 days with fitness and nutrition. So walk us through kind of how we can go about doing this, how we can improve our lives.
Okay, well, no matter what situation you're in, whether it be you have diabetes, whether it be you have obesity, whether mm-hmm. it be you have a bad back, whether it be that you have, any disease. Sure. If you clean out your diet, and that means eating clean, healthy food, mm-hmm. okay, protein every 3 hours to keep the body in an anabolic state. Sure. Smaller meals more frequently. Right. And you exercise, just movement. Mm-hmm. There's no one particular exercise, just moving the body, even a walking program. Mm-hmm. The body will start to heal itself. Mm-hmm. Now I know people that are overweight and they get diabetes, what do? They go to the doctor, and the doctor recommends Metformin or something like that. And I'm saying there's a better way, mm-hmm. because that doctor's probably not going to tell you, hey, listen, why don't you drop 50 pounds? Why don't you go to a nutritionist? Because honestly, there's no money to be made in the medical profession. Of course, sure. So the doctor, and I'm not putting doctors down, but I'm putting the system that we live down. They want you to go back. Mm-hmm. The only way to go back is to make you scared and to give you medicines. Mm-hmm. You take medicines, you get more side effects. So I'm saying there's a better way. Mm-hmm. Rather than do that, and I'm not saying there's not a point that you need medicine, but let's take the natural approach. Sure. Lose a little bit of weight, move a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I take 15, 20 pounds off, and then let's check your A1C. Mm-hmm. I guarantee, whether it be high blood pressure, diabetes, self-esteem, mm-hmm. anxiety, not sleeping properly, and everything would improve through exercise and nutrition.
Wonderful. And how do you feel about kind of, the time frame for getting this done? Do we definitely need 90 days to do this?
Well, I say that like it's like a 90-day challenge. The reason I do that is because most people give up too fast. Okay? They go on a harebrained diet. Harebrained diet means they go on a starvation diet.
Right.
They have one slice of pizza a day. They lack nutrients, and they lose 10 pounds in 3 weeks, and then they gain it back. And so people get frustrated.
Right, right.
And so I think that there's got to be a better system. And I think teaching people, again, how to even eat properly, to eat on time. Smaller meals more frequently, like rather than the big meals spread out. That's an important factor because people go hours without eating, then their sugar drops. So your craving for junk food is even higher. So think about you, Anissa, like how many meals do you say you have in a day?
Probably 2 or so.
Okay, 2 meals. So that means you're going about 6 or 7 hours without food in your body. Do you think that's going to make your body happy?
Probably not.
Okay, so science shows that starvation diets is another big problem that people do. Going on these low-calorie diets, you lack nutrients. If you lack nutrients, the body's not getting what it needs to burn the fat, and it slows down. No different than somebody that was in Vietnam, and they had to not eat for days at a time. The body chews off the muscle, and that is the worst thing in the world. So I actually make people eat more, smaller, and they want to be eating more calories, but they increase the metabolic rate.
So I heard you discuss a little bit about low-calorie diets. So let's talk a little bit about these misconceptions about dieting and preferably low-cal diets. Do these work? Do they not work? Why don't they work?
Well, there's definitely, in the society, everybody's too cerebral. I say this, hard work is the secret. So I think there's I'm sorry, what was the question again?
No, right. So we've been speaking about dieting, right? And there's a lot of misconceptions about which diets work and which do work. What's kind of like the backing with, or do low-calorie diets work?
Okay, so low-calorie diets definitely don't work. Okay, so low-calorie diets, like I just said, they force the body to chew off the muscle because when you're not eating enough nutrients, the body starts to look for nutrients and protein. It says, where's the protein? And it starts to chew off the muscle. So we get a lot of misinformation today. One of them is that starvation diets or low-calorie diets are the key. That's false.
Right.
And second is that you need to be in the gym 7 days a week, 3 hours a day. And you don't. You need 3 hours total in a week, 3 days a week. And you need to train smart. That means good form, training with intensity, but you don't need these marathon workouts. They're going to kill your joints, and it's not going to get you your goals. So I think people think in order to get this beautiful body, to feel healthy, you're going to have to invest a lot of time, and that is not true. So even if you worked out a half an hour, 3 days a week, you invested an hour and a half of your time, that would make a huge difference.
Okay. So since these low-cal diets don't work, can you give us a little bit of advice on nutrition and kind of what we should be eating, what we shouldn't be eating? I know obviously sugar is a big deal where you shouldn't be eating so much of it. What should we cut out? What kind of food should we eat?
That's a very general question, right? Everybody's different.
Right.
So you're saying, with all the 350 million people, should we all have the same diet? And the answer is no, emphatically no.
Okay.
Because we're different. We have different body fats, different metabolism, different geographically we're different. So you want to make sure that you're at least eating generally 20 to 35 grams of protein, depending on your size of your body, every 3 waking hours.
Wow.
That's a simple thing that you could do. As far as how many carbohydrates, you would have to go with the person's goals. So if I have a skinny guy that's 17 years old, yeah, I'm going to give him more carbs. But I have someone who wants to lose weight, you got to lower your carbs, increase your natural fats. So in this country, fat is almost a bad word. Fat is bad for you. Well, back in the 80s, you watch a Seinfeld show and you'll see him, Giuliani with his low-fat diet. And well, guess what? Low-fat diets actually slow down your metabolism, and they don't stimulate the endocrine system, which is the glands in the body. If the glands are not nourished, they don't function. What makes you age is when the glands do not secrete a proper amount of hormone. And so natural fats, like the Native American Indians, the mountain, all those, even your forefathers ate red meat. So low calorie diets and low fat diets are the worst thing in the world. So increase your natural fats, which is organic peanut butter, avocado, grass-fed red meat, organic eggs, and decrease starches, your rice, your potatoes, your pasta. So you're really not eating less, but you're changing the combination of what you eat. By increasing the natural fats and lowering your carbs, the body will start to be tricked into using fat as an energy source. So your body will actually chew the fat off your body, making you a more efficient machine.
Gotcha. And so we spoke a little bit about dieting. We spoke a little bit about nutrition and fitness. Within this whole 90-day experience, how can we stay motivated and make sure that we're continuing to push through the 90-day challenge?
That's a good question. You have to have some kind of willpower. Listen, I consider myself a pretty successful trainer, but you're gonna get that person that even when I write out a meal plan and they spend $700 to train with me, is still gonna go out and eat junk food. So what I tell people, a simple thing, what I do is I ask them one simple question. If you don't change your behaviors now, and you don't take action, what would happen in 10 years? So if a guy's 100 pounds overweight and he's 20 years old, what happens when he's 30? And I want you to imagine that life. I want you to imagine that. So sometimes you got to do that. You got one life and you got one body. So I think that's very important to make people keep things in perspective. And then another powerful tool that I use is goal setting. Okay, everything you do in life, anything you've achieved, manifests because it started in your mind, right? So if you wanted to get married, well, you had to go on a date to get married. You had to say, well, I want to go out with that guy, I want to fall in love and have a family. And if you didn't think that, I wouldn't have a gym right now if I didn't think, right? So thought precedes manifestation. So knowing, first it starts in the mind. What do you want to achieve? Simple question. Okay, the guy's in his 50s, he's 20 pounds overweight. Hey, I want to have a flat stomach. I want to feel more energy, all right? I want to feel more masculine. Okay, write those goals down. I want to lose 20 pounds. Put it on your refrigerator. Put it on your refrigerator, 20 pounds. I want my waist. Hey, I'm single, I'm back in the market again. I want to look good for women. Whatever it takes, write down what you want and then write down goals. And each day, take 1% towards those goals. So if my goal is to lose 20 pounds, what could I do today? Those short-term goals, well, today I'm gonna eat clean. I'm gonna go to bed on time. I'm gonna take a nice power walk, because you know what? I didn't have time to go to the gym. Right? So I always get a kick out of the COVID people. Why did you gain 100 pounds? COVID. I mean, I say COVID. I went through COVID. I lost weight. So you know what I did? I did body weight movements at home. I kept on walking every day. I kept on eating clean. So I always tell people, no excuses. All right, show people what you're made out of. So once you get those goals, you know what you want, you write down the goals, you put them and you look at it every day and you take 1% towards each goal, and before you know it, boom, a year later you're down 50 pounds.
What about time? I mean, a lot of us don't have it. I work 9 to 5, get home 6 o'clock, let's say. A lot of people, they just don't have enough time to commit to a schedule, let alone a 90-day challenge. What do you say to those people that don't have the time?
They're not prioritizing. So what you're saying is that you have time to go out to dinner, you have time to go out with your friends, you have time to watch TV, but you don't have time to exercise. You don't have time to take a 20-minute walk. So I don't want to hear the time excuse. Honestly, it's a BS excuse. If something's important, you find the time. And guess what? If you're healthier, you're going to have more energy. You're going to have more hours in a day. When I see somebody is down, the first thing I say is, once you get an exercise program, you think clearer. All right. The best achievements of my life came when I felt the healthiest.
Thank you so much, Phil. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Being a parent, especially for the first time, with that comes a lot of self-doubt. As a dad, I just try to lead by example. When you're trying to be the best person that you can be, your kids see that and then they emulate that.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Hello everyone, we're back with today's segment about how to change your life in 90 days with fitness and nutrition. We have our special guest here today, Phil Pennacchia. He's a master coach and he's discussing a little bit with us about fitness and nutrition, how we can change our lives. So right now we were discussing about what kind of gets us motivated to stay, the course of a 90-day challenge, even when we don't have the time. So Phil, you've been training people for a super long time. What's kind of some good motivational factors that you do yourself to kind of stay the track and help people and improve their lives?
Well, you want, like I said before, you got to set goals. Mm-hmm. You got to know what you want. So I think when people are down, mm-hmm. they tend to ask the wrong questions to themselves. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you ask the wrong questions, you're not going to be motivated. So I say first know what you want. You have mm-hmm. to be clear about what you want, and you have to take action. Take action, make decisions. So I'm not happy with my life. Do mm-hmm. I sit back and take antidepressants, gain weight, have no relationships, and just slowly die? Mm-hmm. Or do I do something and take action? So getting angry and getting fed up is a good sign. Right? You're fed up, you want to make a change, mm-hmm. but you got to take action.
Sure.
If you don't take action, nothing has changed. So for me, I just dropped 25 pounds. Okay, how did I do it? I looked in the mirror, I saw a belly, I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. But I did something about it. I started eating less. I couldn't go heavy anymore, so I started doing body weight movements. Mm-hmm. But I started doing yoga. Sure. I started walking, if I couldn't walk more than 25 minutes because mm-hmm. I have a rip Achilles. So what I started to do, I broke up the walks to mm-hmm. 10 and 10. Mm-hmm. But I found a way to take action. Mm-hmm. If something doesn't work, try something else. Mm-hmm. But never, never give up.
This is clearly your purpose. So talk to us a little bit about how you went from bodybuilding and now being this renowned fitness coach and helping other people improve their lives. Well,
I always tell people the difference between somebody that's really successful and happy mm-hmm. is they know how to take negativity mm-hmm. and flip it for something positive. So at the point, it's 1990. Mm-hmm. I'm benching 400 pounds. I'm getting ready for the Nationals, which is one step before my pro, mm-hmm. right? My pro card. Working my whole life for it. I ripped my muscle off the bone. Now, at that point, I'm in the hospital.
Sure.
I tried to make a comeback. It did not happen. Mm-hmm. What do? I had to do something. So I said, you know what? I opened my gym. Mm-hmm. Now, I had to stop competing. And by accident, mm-hmm. I started to train average people. And I started to train girls that were 16 years old and 300 pounds. A man that just got divorced and got cancer, and he was saying he wanted to end his life. Those were the people I was getting. So I took them, and I started to see the amazing transformation on just with exercise, that it gave them a sense of control. We live in a world that wants you insecure. It wants you worried. So when I started to see my gift, and the gift was not being Mr. Olympia anymore. God's plan was a little better than mine. He said, let me take this guy. He's not going to be a world champion, but we're going to take him and make him work with these thousands of people, and he's going to change so many other people's lives rather than just being a champion. And that's why when things happen to you in life, you have to flip the negative. All right? When things happen, take that negative and say, what could I get? Well, what did I get? I got a mental toughness. I take that now. I got knowledge on what not to do. So even if something doesn't work, you learned what not to do.
Right.
So it's your perspective and the questions that you ask yourself.
And what do you say to those people that, they don't like gyms, they don't want to go, they don't like to use machines? Maybe, a dumbbell is a little, just not something that they're really into. Do you give them a different type of approach where they maybe go for a walk, or they bike, or they jog, run? What's kind of the next idea?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would like you to be in the gym, because there's a lot of variety of things you could do. But let's just say someone says, I'm not going to a gym. Can you still say, yeah, you could still stay fit? Like you said, a walking program. But the key is movement.
Okay.
Movement. So if you say, I have no weights, can you do a body weight squat? Did you get out of a chair today? Did you get out of your car? Did you go to the bathroom? Well, then you squatted. You squatted. Did you open a door? That's movement. So when someone says, I can't do this, I can't, there's always, as long as you're breathing, there's something you could do. So even if you had to buy a book, body weight exercises, and yoga, and just did that, and just went and walked 10 minutes a day, that would change your life. If you change your life, you change everybody around you, because now you become an inspiration. So that's the beauty of this. It's not just about you. We're all connected. There's this like one big energy field. So when you're helping somebody else, you're helping humanity. And there is no better feeling than helping your fellow man. And I always use this story because I think it's very intricate, especially in today's society. Today it's more is better, more is better, more is better. And I'm saying, well, at one point in time, there's this story, and it was the devil. And the devil looks for people that are down. He looks for people. And there was this man, his wife left him, he lost his job, he was getting older. And the devil said to him, I'll give you one moment of complete contentment for your soul. And the man was so desperate. He didn't want to do, but he was desperate. He would do anything. And he gave them he gave him his soul. Do you know what that one moment of complete contentment was? It was giving to your fellow man. So here we are. We're like, Elvis Presley, Marilyn Monroe, people that had money, had looks. Britney Spears, you see it over and over. People that have is not enough. You could still be empty inside. So when you give, anybody out there, no matter how bad life is, if you just help somebody today, it does something. That's what we're meant to do. We're meant to give.
How much of a not because you said you don't need to work out every day, right, for 7 days a week for this challenge. How many days would you say that the average person should work out in order to kind of fulfill this 90-day experience?
I think 2 to 3 days a week, but it has to be done correctly. So it's not just if you can hire a personal trainer, and I mean a qualified one.
Of course.
All right, there's a shortage of qualified trainers. Somebody that has a lot of experience, it is worth every penny. He'll save you years, okay? But I think 3 days a week, a half an hour, and by the way, weight training is superior to cardio. So if you could weight train even 15 minutes done 3 days a week, that would increase your metabolic rate and help you lose fat, and it would help keep it off. So walking's nice, but I think weight training is superior to walking. So if you have no choice, and you say, Phil, I have no time, well then park your car 10 minutes from where you're walking. You coming here to cable TV? Well, guess what? Park your car 10 minutes away, and you're going to walk here every day. that's your exercise. So no more excuses. People use excuses. The time excuse, I'm sick of it.
What about different types of methods where, let's say, we are in the gym, but we don't like all the different types of machines? Would just walking on the treadmill be more than enough to kind of suffice that challenge, or we need a little bit more of a workout to get the full effect?
Walking. Eventually, your body would acclimate to the walking.
Okay.
So you need to vary the workout because the body will acclimate within 4 to 6 weeks. So if I made a workout for you right now, Nisa, and you said, after 4 to 6 weeks, you got changes, I lost 5 pounds, eventually the body will adapt. So really, just going to the gym and just walking on the treadmill, eventually that person's going to quit. They're going to get bored, the results stop. So you need to vary your exercises, the reps, the order of the body parts, so you hit the body from different angles, and the body does not know what to do. It gets confused and it evolves. Muscle is a mutation. We're not meant to be ripped.
Right.
At the age of 35, the life wants you out of here. You're getting up there. Let some new people come in. It doesn't want you to be fit at 60. Right? So I'm saying, fight that. You're going against the laws of logic. So by exercising, taking care of yourself, you're evolving. And again, you become inspiration to the people around you, your kids, everybody around you. It's not just you.
That was just going to be kind of ties into my next question about, the older that you get, do we need more exercise as we get older, or, can we kind of continue with the same type of exercise that we've been doing?
You need actually less.
That's worked. Okay.
You need less.
How much less are we talking here?
Let's say somebody is, 30 years old.
Sure.
And the other, right? That person's recuperative abilities are better, so she could go 4 to 5 days, maybe 4. 5 is too much. All right? But as you get older, recuperative powers change. So you could do the same thing as an older person, but less. But you still should work out, but it should be less volume and more intensity. So somebody that's working out an hour 3 days a week, maybe at 50, a half an hour 3 days a week, but still training intelligently, training smart, training with intensity. And that means good form. It means controlling your negatives. It means concentrating. It's not about the weight.
So we've heard a lot today about nutrition and dieting and fitness, and obviously being fit for life. Is there some other type of takeaways that we can kind of leave the show with that you'd like to share with us?
Okay, well, yes, I think I'm going to try to give a couple of positive tips here that can make a difference. Number one thing to remember, everything that you have in your life, whether it be a friend, whether it be love, whether it be a job, whether it be good health, brains, intelligence, sense of humor, everything that I have, my bodybuilding championships, my gym, my ability to help people is all from the grace of God. God gave me this gift. I didn't, right? He gave this to me. And that alone, have faith in God, no matter how tough it gets, even if you're fighting a terminal disease, stay strong, never give up. Never give up. And eat a little bit less. Eat a little bit less, move a little bit more. Don't look back, burn the past. The past does nothing for you. Good or bad, it does nothing. If it's good, you wish it was back again. If it's, right? And the future gives you anxiety because you have all these scenarios. I say focus on what I could. Right now, I'm not Mr. Staten. I'm a guy in my 50s. What am I going to do about it? I'm not going to live in the past. That's not going to help me. Okay? So stay positive, have faith in God, don't look back, and don't complain. Everybody has their demons. You fight, you stay positive, and good things are going to happen.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in today, and thank you so much, Phil,
Thank you for having me.
for this segment. Tune in next time with our other shows.